This is not an indictment of conferences or travel. The district I represent, Corpus Christi, Texas, is a tourist destination home to many conferences. What this is an investigation into how the public money is spent. It's different than how the private sector money is spent. It's different how your personal money is spent. So there's always got to be kept in mind by those traveling on the taxpayers' dollars the need to be frugal, to treat that money better than they would treat their own money. I do think one of the important things that will come out of this hearing and the proposed regulations is a change in the culture on the part of government employees, again, to take to the mindset that this is the taxpayers' hard-earned money that we are spending, and you actually need to spend it more carefully than even you would spend your own money. Having gone to numerous conferences in my previous career as a lawyer, even working in the private sector, there were certain expenses I would not put down on the blue slip. I'd put the McDonald's lunch on there, but if I decided to treat myself to a steak dinner, I would eat that cost myself. Obviously, we can't ask the federal workforce to buy their own meals, but when they are asking the taxpayers to pay for them, I think it's appropriate that they think, well, maybe I could do with a sandwich instead of a steak. And it's that sort of incentive. I think the GSA is taking the lead in that. Obviously, it's unfortunate that it had to come as a result of a very public scandal. But one of the impediments I see to taking advantage of that is actually educating the workforce and simplifying some of the tools like ETS and Fed rooms, and even though outside of the travel area, the GSA purchasing website. Very often difficult to use as for the end user compared to private sector equivalents. I know in my travel, I'm able to book online. I don't use ETS. I'm on United. I can get their government rates on their website, but I think they're one of the few airlines that offer that. I would encourage you to work with your vending partners to make the process much more simpler. But I am concerned the culture isn't catching on. There were recent reports that the post office spent just a ton of money. They had a $15 billion loss, cutting Saturday delivery, but they've got a conference that they set up in San Francisco that's going to cost $2.2 million. That seems like that's not in the spirit. Are we seeing the government actually following this? And I'll ask Mr. Werfel, are we actually seeing, have all the agencies complied, and are they reporting their expenses over $100,000, and are you getting that information?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there was, and thank you for the question, I think there was one or two agencies that missed our January 31st deadline, but for the most part, I believe all reports are now in. And I think the key here is that the reports do demonstrate what we believe to be happening post last year when GSA had the issue that we've been describing, and OMB issued its memorandum, which is there has been significant attention to this matter and a lot of aggressive action to cut back on this type of spending.
I'd like to thank our witnesses for taking the time from their very busy schedules to appear from us, and I charge you to go back and save the taxpayers some money. With that, we're adjourned.